is very training. My goal and assignment is to bring credence to some invisible factors that control the visible things that we see in business. And I'm talking about autoimmune diseases that are in business. So I'm not going to waste much time and dive straight into it. But it's good that I give you a wealth creation roadmap so that that can serve as an anchor for what we'll be discussing this very moment. Now, when it comes to wealth creation, two things need to be in place. Number one is business, and number two is investment. They need to happen at the same time for wealth to holistically be created. So let's bring out the business. Whether you have a job or you have your own thing that you're doing, as long as it brings you income, let's regard that in this context as business. Now, for business to work, two things need to be present: the driver and the entity, which is the vehicle. Most of the times, a lot of people have focused on building the entity, which is the vehicle, and disregard the driver. So they are more annoyed with the fact that the entity is not growing, not understanding that the core that is supposed to grow the entity is actually the driver. So my assignment today is to actually discuss the driver and not the entity, because I've come to realize that, you see, the entity can remain the same, but if the driver evolves, the entity will evolve. So the growth and advancement of the entity is tied to the driver. So if the driver gets better, the entity gets better. The driver does not get better, then the entity gets to suffer. That is why two people can be in the same profession, in the same business, but the outcome is totally different. Why? Because it is the driver, not the entity. Two people can be in the same country and producing two different type of results, not the entity by context, the country, but the individual, the driver. Okay, so it is very, very key. So our focus today is the driver, you. It's very important that if you're listening to me, you grab a pen, you grab a paper, while we go deep into this topic to show you how exactly you can become a better, effective driver, and that will make you of a lot of things that would help you. So let's start. What are autoimmune diseases? What are autoimmune diseases? Now, autoimmune diseases are conditions where, so this is me going into biology, are conditions where the immune system that is supposed to protect the body against harm begins to affect and cause harm in itself. I'll explain. So what happens here is a situation where soldiers, let me call soldiers, the soldiers, which are your immune systems, are supposed to protect you against external virus, diseases, and they get to turn sides against each other. And now they are fighting themselves and causing more harm than good. Those are autoimmune diseases. So I'll go right here. Autoimmune diseases are conditions where the immune system attacks the body instead of protecting it from harmful invaders, outside forces. Now, there are a lot of reasons why this happens. But what I need to understand is that this same condition can also happen in a business where the business begins to fight itself, where the driver begins to fight him or herself, and it gets to affect the entity, right? So the body is innocent, but the driver inside is what is causing more harm. I hope you're getting it now. So let's go. Autoimmune diseases in business. This is a situation where the driver of a business fights that which he or she is building. Is that possible? Yes, it's very possible. Now throw more light into it. Now it slows down creativity, it slows down growth, it slows down advancement, most of the time leading to heavy decline. Now, sometimes this is consciously done. Other times, this is unconsciously done. So some people know when they're doing this to themselves. And sometimes some people have no significant idea that they are doing this. It just happens. It is at the tail end where they see the result. They're like, how did this happen? I did not know. So it can be done consciously or unconsciously. My assignment is to bring these things to your notice and your consciousness so that you know when you begin to see things like this and you know how exactly you can solve it. So let's highlight some type of autoimmune diseases in business. I call them AIDS, right? Number one is envy. Number two, pride, offense, lust, greed, disloyalty. These are things that look so minute, so insignificant, but when it comes to business, they are very, very very significant. A lot of people have no idea the atrocity this has caused them as regards to business and growth. Now, what I see here can be aligned to the workplace, okay? But then I major on business, so I will teach from my depth of experience and where I know I can draw premise from. So my goal is for you to get it. So however you're listening to this, please pay attention and find a way to sync it in with what you are doing. So note this, it's very key that you know this. Autoimmune diseases are within everyone, waiting for a trigger to activate them. So you listening to me, it is inside you. All those things I mentioned, lust, pride, envy, offense, disloyalty, it is within you, waiting for a trigger to activate them. So it's not a training where you say, no wonder, no wonder, tell them, tell them. It's a training where you look inward to yourself and begin to be grateful it has not been affected or it has not been activated, or if it has been activated, you begin to work on yourself. Or if you know somebody that this has been activated within the person, you profess solution. So just understand that this is a human nature within everybody. How we say, now follow come. Now, your heart is the control box. At the physical level, what that heart does is pump blood. But if you feel that is the only thing that the heart does, then you have missed it. At the spiritual level, it is a control box that can trigger a lot of things, a lot of things. And a core part of it are the autoimmune diseases. It can trigger it in a heartbeat, and it's game over, right? It's game over. It's like it just sets you into a self-destruct mode, and everything begins to crumble. Now, if you do not guard that, if you don't guard your heart, it will be used against you. I think that's why the Bible highlighted that guard your heart. Mm? God, it kept talking about having to protect your heart. Out of the issues comes out of the heart comes the issues of life. Guard your heart with all diligence. Heart, but these were things that the Bible was trying to make us to understand that if you don't take care of it, you wouldn't like the outcome. So we're here to discuss some things that would ruin a beauty that is supposed to be created when it comes to an entity. And rather than fighting the entity, which is the physical business that people see, goes in to fight the driver. And why is this so key? You see situations where people will tell you, people that run businesses, you begin to engage them and ask how developed they are personally as an individual. They say, well, I don't see myself as something that should be developed. The major focus is, I just want to grow my business. I just want to grow my business. And looking at this, my business. But they have failed to understand that the ultimate growth is the growth of self. And that would affect the growth of the business. I just hope you're getting it. So if you focus more on your job, what you do, and not who you become on the job will suffer. If you focus more on the activities you do in your business to bring in money and not what you become, the business will still suffer. That's why topics like this are very, very important. And we're going to highlight one of these autoimmune diseases. And by that, we're highlighting envy. Envy. If you're taking notes, just write in envy and envy in the comment section. This is so subtle yet powerful. And I know with envy, a lot of people say, no, I'm not an envious person. Me, my kind of person. No, I don't envy people. I am a very good person. And I totally understand. I trust you. I trust you. I believe you. But like I said, ide body. It is within you, waiting to be triggered. So calm down, humble yourself. Let's dive into this. All right, let's have a deep dive into this. Now, we're going to do a little etymology of envy so that we're on the same page. Now, from the Latin perspective, envy highlights envidia, which is a noun, from envidere, which is a verb. The envidre, pardon my pronunciation, right? So the in envidre, it means upon or against. Vidre means to see, right? Upon, to see, or to see against, to see upon, Envy 3. Now, meaning to look upon ill will or to cast a hostile glance. That is what envy means. Stay with me. In Roman mythology, Envidia was personified as a goddess or demon of envy, jealousy, and malice. In Roman mythology, Envidia was personified as a goddess of demon of envy and so when it comes to it's not something that I know. I saw it in the dictionary. It meant this. It has a history. All right, it has a history. So this is me showing you Roman mythology, and we're going to highlight the Bible origin of this thing called envy to show you that it is within. But you see, this is how Nvidia looks like. This is her, such a beauty. So you can zoom in if you want to, but this is how she looks like. Very ugly, not beautiful. And I had to go deeper to search, right? Who was this woman? How was she described? And I wouldn't want to bore you with the details, but stay with me. Now, she was described as a woman having a pale, thick, decaying body. You can see for yourself. Not just that, with poisons in her mouth and venom dripping from her tongue, constantly eating, gnawing, right? See, eating is different from gnawing, so you don't miss it. This gnawing is continuous eating, chewing, biting her own flesh, tormented by the sight of others' success. A destructive force consuming both herself and others. So whenever I just want you to have this perspective. Whenever something wants to activate that side of envy within you, just see all of these things together as what you are becoming. And I think that should just calm you down. Or whenever you see somebody that is envious, just see all of this together as what the person is becoming. Now, let me ask you, is it good? No. Only this description should just allow fear penetrate you and say, I will humble myself. Oh, God have mercy. Right? Because this is a very, very ugly creature. But guess what? According to Greek mythology, such a person existed once upon a time. Once upon a time. So if we were to flip this down to the Bible, the first account of envy was in Genesis. The two sons that we had, Cain and Abel. And with the incident that happened, if you read your Bible, it's very clear that both of them were doing something, right? So I just want to show you how envy can be activated. These people, I'm going to bring it to a business context. So one of them was selling television. The other one was selling laptop. These are two different businesses, and they were good at what they are doing. But one, envy was activated because the person selling television was regarded more than him. And envy stepped in and he killed his brother. And envy stepped in. And you're like, but they were doing two different things. It is what it is. So I'm saying because you can be doing one thing and somebody's doing another thing, and envy will be activated. Why? Because of I'm going to highlight some key things that will bring clarity to it. But a part of it is envy cannot stand in the presence of consistent results, consistent accolades, consistent praise, consistent acknowledgement that now only this person, now only him. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. So let's highlight some things. Now, envy is a strong feeling of resentment, anger, bitterness that is rooted in desire to have the quality, results, status, resources belonging to or being experienced by others. It is their own, they worked for it, but you don't have it. And it's painful that you don't have it. And you're subjected to a point where you begin to envy such person. A strong feeling of anger, bitterness. So you are in pains. So you see how dangerous it is. It is like you taking a spear and just stabbing yourself because you see others That's why Nvidia, she had to, like, she choose herself, right? She just bites herself. Why? Why must it be there? Yeah, why must it? Book with me. Now, envy is an emotion which occurs. And when I say emotions, you now understand that this is a human emotion. That's why I said it's in you, it's in me. It's an emotion which occurs when a person lacks another person's skills, achievement, result. It goes to find fulfillment when other persons lose those opportunities. So as it is now, you are not Michael Jackson. You can't dance. But when you see Michael Jackson dancing, right, expressing those skills, you begin to feel bad. Is it only him that God gave these gifts? What about me? But mind you, you're also good at the thing that he's not. But envy does not care that you have your own that you're good at. The major concern of envy is that this person that is shining should go down. That's the only. So if envy blinds you from every single thing that you have, right? And you begin to focus on what this person has. And if we're to assess it, you discover that most at times you have, when we're to scale it in percentage, you have 80% compared to the 20% that this person focused on to develop. And if only you had focused on yours, your own 80%, you'll be better than this person. But envy shades away your visibility from the 80% and just narrows it down to say, no, this 20% that this person has, I want it, or this person should lose it. So whatever it takes, we'll get it done. That is envy at work. So it's a natural human response in the presence of consistent result and achievement of others. So maybe like, we are in the same business and this person is not doing up to your level. You're like, oh, okay, wow. You don't regard it. And it gets to a level, this person is now in the same level as you. You're like, okay, let's be watching now. Let's be watching. You think it's easy. Now that you've gotten to this level, be careful, anything can happen. The next thing, the person begins to do way better than you. You're like, there's something this person is doing. He or she is not telling us. Why? Because the result is now consistent. And you might be like, hey, no. But listen to me. There's a difference between a result and consistent result. That's why you have to guard your heart. Why? Maybe January, the person got the result, and you're like, okay. Employee of the month, for example, January, February, March, April, May, June, and you're like, is it only this person? Is it only Nkechi that will get this thing? Eh? There's something Nkechi is doing with her boss that she's not telling us. Why her? Is she the only one that envy? Because the result is not consistent. The result is not consistent. That's envy for you. So as I begin to go into some key things, what I'm saying is search yourself. That's the whole idea. You check yourself. You check yourself. And I check myself. Because that's the only way you get to be honest with yourself. Because the worst thing that can happen is you lie to yourself. You can lie to others, no problem. But lying to yourself, oh, there is trouble. So the goal is you begin to search yourself and say, has this thing been activated within me in my career, in my business, in what I'm doing? And what is the solution? Because it's normal for you to have this thing within you. That's what I need you to first embrace. It is normal. So don't feel bad and say, if I admit to this thing, I have failed. No, you're just a human being. And embracing yourself at this level, that is step one. Then you begin to work on yourself. So some facts about envy. Number one, envy never stops. Its destruction is achieved. Classical example, Cain and Abel. See, he had killed his brother. Like, he was not okay. And to show you how dangerous it is, even after killing him, he still wasn't okay. So envy makes it look as if once destruction is achieved, you'll be fulfilled. It's a big lie. It's a big lie. Not just that, in the presence of envy, synergy is impossible. Take, for example, Joseph and his brothers. His brothers, I don't know how to explain it, but that boy was a small boy. When it comes to things, you guys have attained certain level. I know the Bible did not, highlight those things, but come on. And here comes this small boy. See, I had a dream. Eh? And the dream was, it was now piercing you. And he comes and says, oh, he just got me a jeans jacket. This jeans jacket is rainbow color. You're like, must it be you? Must it be you? So the things, the brotherly love they're supposed to share, the synergy, the unity, it will never happen. This guy is on his own. This guy is on his own. Leave this place. That's envy for you. So what is the next step? Let's find a way to do away with him. Let's find a way to do away with him. That's envy. That's envy. It takes away the possibility. So bringing it to business, you discover, okay, since I'm in the same business with this person, what we all do is that we sell pen. How can we synergize together? Well, because this person seems to be doing exploits, even though the person started business, all right, just a few years back, and you've been at it for decades, for years, what begins to happen is, it's something this person is doing, is not the way we have been doing it, so it will not work, it will not work. And the person brings up creative ideas, like if all of us work together, this will say, no, 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 no. It won't work, it won't work, it won't work, it won't work, it won't work. So be careful. Why? Because be careful that the decisions you make or the decisions you conclude on, they are not anchored on envy. Okay, we decided not to do this thing, and you bring up something to wrap it up, but the core of it is envy. Or you decide to do a thing, and the reason for that thing, it might look beautiful, but the core of it is envy. It happens, right? Envy derives the pain of others as therapy, so a form of healing. If people lose everything, you're happy, right? Publicly, you're like, so bad. Yeah, it happens. So, don't worry, don't worry. God will restore, God will restore. But within you, you're excited. Joy, joy is coming. That's what's happening within you. And that's envy. And this person has gone down. Yes. Next, who is next? Who is next? It's a very dangerous autoimmune disease. Very dangerous. It's envy seeks not to be the best per se, right? It's not in for a competition of the best. Envy seeks to be the only. Let me just be the only person there. That's envy. So whatever it takes to bring everybody down, I just want to be the only person at the top of the mountain. I don't want to be the first person. I don't want to be the best person. No, I don't want to be the outstanding, the most outstanding person. No, I want to be the only person there. That's envy for you. Now, for most people, envy started at childhood because they experienced deprivation of things, access, opportunities at tender age. So growing up, they didn't get access to things. They saw that people getting it. They were deprived of it. Opportunities, don't do this. And other people are doing it. Go here, but don't go here. And other people are doing all of that. So how come? So it left a vacuum within them, a serious vacuum within them. And the end result is them at a tender age working that job. You begin to see envy here and there. Them at a more advanced age, right? Building businesses and other things are happening to other people. And why will it not happen to them? Right? So when they were kids, it's so crazy, but it's psychological. When they were kids, they wanted these things, right, for themselves. But somebody says, no, you can't have it. Now they are adults, right? And they want these things. You cannot tell them no because they have the strength, the capacity to get it done. So whatever means they'll get it done. Now that's envy. So envy is not, like I said, it's not always wanting to be the best. It's about wanting to be the only person. Look at Herod and Jesus. Classical example. Now, the timeline between when Jesus was born and Herod being king, before Jesus even gets up to 30 years to execute his assignment, Herod would have been a very old man, or if not a dead king. So why in the world would you allow envy come in because they told you that a king has been born in Nazareth? King, when me I'm still king. No, it's only me that will be king. We cannot have two kings. He's a child. My king. He's but a child. Do the maths. But you see, envy makes a very wise person foolish. You can write it down. Honestly. All the wisdom fades away. Boom, and it looks as if, how come now? A king now acting like somebody that's, and if you understand what it means to be a king, then your wisdom, top notch. But a king acting this way, then there's trouble. There's envy. It blinds every see. It makes your glasses blurry. And if possible, envy makes you blind. You can't see, your reasoning is blocked. It's totally blocked. Now, envy can be quiet for years till someone comes with a notable result that is consistent. So you can be listening to me and you'll be shouting, I don't have this, I don't have this. You'll be annoyed at all these things I'm saying. I'm saying it to you. But all I'm saying is listen, listen, listen. That thing can be so quiet for decades, for years. till a notable result comes in. That's when you're like, so this thing is within you. Yes, it is within you. Because envy cannot hide in the presence of consistent and notable results. That's the honest truth. And if you trace back secondary school, right? You see this happen within students. You see, it's so subtle that you think, oh, it's just a normal thing. They're just being competitive and all of that. But it happens there where somebody is like, acing it. Hey, must it be only this person? Yeah? Must it be something this person is saying? Da, 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 da. It happens and it migrates into business. So because you've been into that business for years, and you've been at an average level, and here comes somebody that is exceptional, person breaks the bar and begins to go above the limit that you and others have set. You're like, well, really? And envy starts. There's something, the way the business is being done, this person is not doing this way. And, it's not crazy because it's the same okrika that you have been selling for years that this person decided to sell. And this person got creative with the okrika. All of a sudden, envy. So, in the presence of consistent result, envy will awaken you to answer the call. And I'm saying this because it's within you. But now envy can spill over to offense. This part is very key. It can spill over to offense. Classic example, John the Baptist. Now understand who actually was John the Baptist. John the Baptist was tagged the greatest of them all, right? So how can that's why I said when you step into the realm of envy, you become blind, you become, ignorant to that which you carry. How can a man that was termed the greatest of them all, right? That did the public launch of Jesus now come and be saying certain things against him. Envy can spill over to offense. Envy can spill over to a lot of other autoimmune diseases. That's why you have to be very, very careful. And then he said what he said about Jesus, right? He said what he said. Now, mind you, to show you how great it was, after the launch, some of his disciples actually, left to synergize with Jesus. Like, this guy was good, but, envy flipped the coin and he paid dearly as regards to the state of offense. So envy can major on minor things. The goal is never correction. The goal is to reveal flaws in the person. So that small thing, why did you greet me like this? Why are you sounding like this? Envy will carry the thing on his head like gala. Let's look at how this person is talking to me. Maybe the tonality, this and that. That's envy. So it's not necessarily to say you are correcting the person, just to review the flaws. Why are you late? Is it every time you'll be late? But like that's the first time the person is being late. But it's not the lateness per se that is the reason the person is anchoring that statement or that conversation. Is the fact that envy is there. This person has been the most outstanding person in the business, in the workplace, and then you're like, let me look for a thing. And you begin to look at lateness, right? Just look at one small thing, and that's the thing that you hold on to major on. So, on the other hand, you that you're having this experience, is up to you to understand where this person is coming from, and that will give you peace to know that it's just a human response. But there are keys to gain immunity over envy, and I'm breaking it down right about now. Number one is develop capacity. It is very, very important. And if you don't believe this, let's rewind a little bit. You see, from birth or conception, when we're conceived to this point in time, we have been evolving, growing, right? Down to death, we're growing. So the only thing that is not growing is the thing that is dead. Why am I saying this? The true beauty of life comes when a creation, right, fulfills its purpose. And that happens when you evolve. It gets better and gets better and gets better and gets better. Why am I saying it? We are seeds that have been planted on earth. And the purpose of any seed is to grow, is to bear fruit. Developing capacity immunizes you from having to enter a state of envy that kills you or your business or your entity. So it's not a thing of, I've arrived. Hold on. Let's go back into the Bible a little bit. The man that said, my soul find rest. I'm okay. I'm boxed up, right? He stopped developing. He stopped becoming more. What happened? God was like, you fool, right? Rich fool. Your soul be demanding of you of this day. game over. So why am I saying this? The first key to immunizing yourself against envy is developing capacity, because as long as you remain small, you will never be free from envy. You keep seeing other people rising, and then you are envious of them. No need that you have within you what it takes to become more. So the goal is never stop evolving. That's the key. Never stop evolving. Understand that you have within you to rise to the top. As you peg yourself at a level, just get ready, because you deciding to set at a level means you're exposing yourself to activate this AID, right? Autoimmune disease called envy. The ground is always crowded, truth be told, but there's enough space above. Above, we discuss collaboration. How can we execute at the higher level? Bottom level, because people have refused to grow, they have settled, right? So the best they can do is to envy other people that have decided to evolve more. But the crux of the matter is, who is ahead of you is ahead of you. So just find comfort, honor them, be inspired, because if they can do it, you can do it. Amen. But it takes desire, understanding to say, okay, I am bigger than this and I can get this done. Because the truth of the matter is, when you grow, everything around you, they also grow. When you grow, it all grows. But the worst thing that can happen is that you settle. So develop capacity, read book, attend events, do what has to be done for the driver, which is you, to become more. Because when you fail to become more, and you see others who have decided to pay the price to become more, you become envious of them. But all I am saying is, within you, you have the innate ability to become more. That's key number one. So let's move fast. Key number two, gratitude. Everything you thank God for, it multiplies. But the truth of the matter is, a grateful man is a thoughtful man. So if you're unable to pause and say, okay, what do I have? Get into that state of realization to say, okay, I have this, I am grateful. In that state, what you have, the little that you feel you have, will multiply. But if you never get to that level where you become, you see, it takes serious thoughtfulness and consciousness to be able to identify that you have something. Because with the way the human mind is wired, right, it is easy to see that others have something, and it's so difficult to see that you have something. Very difficult. So in that state of realization that I have something, there's something that has been given to me, you become grateful to God for it. That John has his own share, Nkechi has her own share, and I also have my own share. In that state of gratitude, what you have, it multiplies. But when you step into that state of ingratitude, it's like the story of the talents. You are that man that has just one talent. You go and bury it because you don't know the value of what you have. Number three is, you're good enough. Key number three, you must get to a point of realization that I am good enough. And I want you to type this, listen to me. I am good enough. I am good enough. Because see, social media has made it so that what we see is that others are good enough, but you are not good enough. So I am telling you now, you are good enough. They are good enough, and you are good enough. I am good enough, and we are good enough. Everyone has a role to play. I'm not better than you, and you're not better than me. That's the honest truth. I'm showing how you can immunize yourself against envy. So if you see Nkechi doing well in her business, she's good enough, right? And you too, you can do well, because the Bible says whatever you lay your hands on, to prosper, right? So it's not just the word, but it's a mindset that you can armor yourself with. That because Nkechi has laid her hands on AUTOIMMUNE business and she's doing well, me, I'm going to lay my hands on selling pencil or pen, and I'll do well. So at her level, she's a blessing. At my level, I am a blessing. We are good enough. It's not the thing of, because she is good enough, therefore I am not good enough. No. Everybody has their role to play. And when you know this, you know peace. So stay in your area of grace and find comfort. That's just the honest truth. I can highlight a classical example when BlackBerry, they were supposed to transition. Yeah, they were supposed to transition with the Android phase, with the likes of Techno and Infinix. Those guys were good. They were very, very good. They were very, very good. But the season to transition came, and they had settled, right? The first key we talked about. They had settled. They are just like, okay, for the fact that we have gained this market, we have a bolder say as regards to things. And envy stepped in because it affected their creativity. It affected their creativity. They didn't transition. Or let's say the transition late. And when they transitioned, there was no market. It was too late. So everybody has their role to play. And when you see people evolving, you understand that, you see, the first level is they are doing, you are doing, everybody is good enough, right? Second level is we can do together and do something big. We can do together and do something big. So you need to understand that you're good enough. You're good enough. Stay in your area of grace and find comfort. That this voice God has given me to sing is good enough. And the same way He has placed in somebody's legs to dance, that person is good enough. And guess what? If I sing, they will dance. And if they dance, I will sing. You get it? So a shark and a whale belongs to the sea, but their assignments are very different. We can bring a shark and put it in an aquarium, right? That can happen, but we can't try it with a whale. Impossible. But two of them have their principal assignment that they are doing. All I am saying is you're gonna just type in the comment section, I am a blessing. Just type I am a blessing, I'm a blessing, right? I'm a blessing, you're a blessing, we're a blessing, everybody is a blessing. And as seamless as that sound, it is very key that the role you play, I cannot play. The role I play, you cannot play it. But together, when we synergize, we're able to bless humanity and make it a better place, all right? Better place. And finally, this is the last key. Walk in love and submit yourself to prayer. Why am I saying it? You see, this thing called envy is not a thing. It's easy to teach, but difficult to practice. That's why you need the help of God. It's very difficult. So you can come and say, this is it, da. It's easy to teach, but difficult to practice. I can tell you that for free. I can tell you that for free. That's why you need the help of God to help you practice it. Because you see, many years ago, when we had no technology, I could be doing a business in my locality, and I'm not bothered about what is happening in other localities. Not my concern. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. Now we have technology. If I'm selling wig in Lagos, I get to see the person that is selling wig in Port Harcourt. I get to see the person that is selling wig in Ghana, in South Africa. You see, for the fact that I am able to see, I am able to hear, these are gateways, two dangerous gateways that envy can easily be activated. So I am seeing on social media how their businesses are thriving, and it's the same business I'm doing. I am hearing the feedback that they are doing well, they are doing well, they are doing well. It is not easy to say you want to just overlook that scenario, ladies and gentlemen. I need to be very honest with you. That's why you have to pray to God to help you, to help you. That in as much as you are seeing it, in as much as you're hearing it, you are blind to it and you are deaf to it. Your alignment is to now develop yourself, not from an envious state, but because you know what you have is good enough. You are grateful. So you're seeing all the channels, right? You're grateful. And not just that, you understand that they are a blessing, they are good enough, you're good enough, they have their role, you have your role. It is very key. So it's not anything I'll tell you, you can do it, I believe in you. It's not easy, but it can be done. It can be done. So it's important, right? Choose compassion over criticism. It's walking in love. Choose compassion over criticism. I'm saying it because a lot of people, it gets to a level, God is love, right? Don't forget, God is love. It gets to a level that because of that envious state they have stepped in, they choose to criticize people, right? Somebody drives with a Rolls Royce, a Lamborghini, a Maserati, and you don't have it, right? Your state is immediate envy. It's blood money. They sacrifice something. It is that. That's envy. So walk in love. Walk in love. And your strength when it comes to walking in love is understanding compassion. And you truly are able to be compassionate when you have gone through a process, right? You cannot just sympathize with the person, but you develop empathy because you know how this person feels. You've been through that process. So you know what it is. So the angle, I'm trying to bring it home so you get it. The angle is you understand the danger of envy. It's a two-edged sword. It's a two-edged sword. While you try to use it consciously or unconsciously to harm another, you're also harming yourself. So choose compassion over criticism, because the more you criticize, the more you're harming yourself. So let your words uplift, walk in love, let it heal, let it bless. Okay, not wound and divide. This is how you walk in love. So somebody comes to you and say, okay, let's bring down somebody. You say, no, we're lifting this person, because you only see the good in that person. You only see the good in that scenario. You only see the good in as much as that. I'm not saying be ignorant. I'm not saying be, overlook certain things. But I'm saying when you look at it, you're looking at it from a point of somebody that is positive, somebody that's advancing towards blessing, uplifting, healing others. But more importantly, never get to the point where the pain of others give you joy. Never, never. And you can't fake it. It will show. People will know when you're in a state of envy. They will know, right? Will never get to the point where the pain of others give you joy. It's very, very key. That people are having sleepless nights because of you, right? That people are in tears because of you. Why? Because you have decided to be a thorn in their flesh. No. And it anchors on. That's why I said it's an autoimmune. This is one autoimmune disease. It can be done consciously and be done unconsciously, but the result is always there. The result, as clear as the result, is always there. So your goal, your assignment is to see how exactly you audit yourself, and you ask yourself, right? You ask yourself, this thing I'm doing, whatever you're doing, is it envy driven? Is it envy driven? Am I doing it to prove a point? Or am I doing it because this is me just doing it? Because there are a lot of creativity that have been stirred because of envy. I'll share a classical example in business. So when Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, acquired Instagram, right? He needed a platform that would serve like as a gallery, and that's what Instagram is. And it was a very peaceful, seamless acquisition. Everything happened as planned. Some other platform tried it, but it was a flop. It was a flop. So it was more of, these guys have done it. Let me to do it, right? It was a flop. It was a flop. Some just said they bought it, but they bought a platform similar to Instagram, but it didn't drive profits. Okay, it didn't drive profit. So I'm saying, because when you understand your own strength, when you understand that you're good enough, when you understand how to work in love, when you understand that this thing can cripple an entire business, everything goes down. Everything goes down once it cripples it. When you understand all of this thing, it gives you the cutting edge advantage, the bulletproof you need for you to build something sustainable for yourself. So I miss the fact that this month you produce this month you made this number of sales. These are things that are not visible to the public, but they can affect the sales, they can affect the supplies, they can affect the execution. And one of it is called envy. So what I'll do, the next time we get to meet, we're going to focus on the part two of this, all right? Part two of this, so that we see how exactly we get better. Because guess what? If the driver of the business gets better, the entity also gets better. And at the end of the day, there is articulate advancement and growth. Very, very effective. So God bless you. God, if you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions, and I'll see how exactly I can respond to it. God bless you.